Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat. Today is Wednesday, July 24th, 2019. Today is a rather big day for politics in the United States. Oh my goodness. So it's going to be a little weird. I have to transition from being in politics mode to being into video game mode. But yeah. Anyway, why did game? There you go. There is game. Game is loading. I actually want to start today with a bit of a PSA, public service announcement. So, there was a lot. There were headlines going around, news reports going around about VLC Media Player, about there being a critical defect in VLC Media Player, and potentially remote code execution being able to happen in recent versions of VLC Media Player, and it's applying to Windows, Linux, Android, basically everything but Mac OS that VLC is on. However, all of those reports that make it seem like there's this very critical issue, uninstall immediately VLC Media Player, yeah, they are the result of incredibly bad journalism. Like, straight up. Incredibly bad journalism. I use VLC Media Player, and when I saw the first report that I came across, I admit I did uninstall it until I actually looked into the issue. And yeah, as it turns out, so the way this thing actually works, I'm actually going to bring up the display capture here. So this is the ticket for the bug through the official VLC bug reporting system. It was a buffer overflow that resulted from running an infected MKV file. So, loading in a MKV file that has been infected to run this code. It is completely dependent upon having an infected MKV, not an MP4, but an MKV file, and attempting to run it through VLC Media Player. However, so first thing, you have to have downloaded an MKV file that is infected and attempted to run it yourself on your computer. So that is the first aspect that is wrong about these reports. It is not as if someone remotely can use you having installed VLC on your computer to run whatever code they want. That's not how it actually works. The attack vector is that you yourself have to download an infected MKV file. MKV file. Right in here, MKV. It is an MKV that is attempted to be run in here. Also, if you actually go down below the report, you can see this is a developer for VLC making the comment that this does not crash a normal release of VLC 3.071. This overflow works by crashing the program, basically. The vulnerability results in, or can be it works through the crashing of the program, so it doesn't actually do anything on 3071, which is the most recent release of VLC Media Player. That is the most recent stable release of VLC Media Player. It also applies only to MKV, and work status is not started. Someone at some point said work status 60%. Well, any news report saying that it's 60% complete on the fix and that you have to wait until it's fixed to reinstall it. No, it's not started because it's not a problem. It's not actually a problem in the most recent release. And then in 4.0, again, no crash, a memory leak, but no crash. It could crash as a result of the memory leak and running out of memory, but that has nothing to do with the MKV file doing its thing. Similarly, in 3.08, which will be the next release, so this is in 4.0, which is an upcoming release in a couple months from now. This is in 3.08, which is going to be the next release sooner rather than later. And in the previous release, same thing, 3.06. Just a memory leak is all that this particular file that they're trying to load that's supposedly infected is causing. So, sorry, it's not reproducible and does not crash VLC at all in any of the tested versions. Then the person who did the report said that they tested it in Ubuntu 64 using VLC master code with that specific commit. Not reproducible. Again, not reproducible. Then you can do other reporting for security issues such as this. That specific commit is 4.0, not 3.0, which is in testing and hasn't even been released yet. So, of course, you should expect some sort of vulnerabilities. That's the whole point of the testing phase for the next release. In which case, this should have been reported under 4.0 and fixed for 4.0. But it's an NKV, it does not crash. It at worst is a memory leak issue. Oh, yeah, crashes only if you're looping. Again, memory leak related. Does not crash on single playback. Memory leak. And then once we get through down to here, yeah, looping again, memory leak. Once you get to here, here's the most recent update as of 4 hours ago. The issue is a too old version of libbml, which actually you can see it should be somewhere in here that it's trying to call libbml, maybe. libbml in Ubuntu 18.04, and 1.36 of that fixes the issue. End of story. VLC is not vulnerable, whether in 3.7.1 or even as far back as 3.04. The issue is in a third-party library for Ubuntu, fixed in VLC binaries from 3.03, more than a year ago. And then a note to update your Linux distribution. So this whole thing was the result of somebody using an outdated version of a library in Linux. Okay? At no point has this ever applied to Windows. So it is now marked as closed. It is marked as fixed since 3.03. It's like, jeez. When all the news was being made, all we had was we had this comment here. This comment here and above was available before the posting of these news articles. And as far back as several days ago, if any journalist had actually gone to this webpage that they've been linking to and actually read what the developers are saying in it, they should have seen, oh hey, it's not 60%, it's not started because it's not crashing, it's not affecting this current version of VLC. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to start the day with, is just that public service announcement that I'm not going to do these updates at the moment. That journalists are awful in the gaming industry and tech in general, and don't ever trust what you read without first looking into things. You can apply that same logic to today's events in politics in the US, by the way. So, we have some issues getting into the actual Pyanodon's playthrough. We have some issues that need to be taken care of. The issues, first off, there's a few pipes that I need to fix the connections for right here. You can see these 3 are not connected here, and these feed in my niobium, so I need to go down and I need to replace these 3 pipe to grounds with niobium undergrounds. That's step 1. Step 1 is that. Step 2 is involving salt. So, that is no longer salt. That is no longer tapped. We currently... And neither of these are functional anymore either. So this entire outpost for salt is now dead. Which leaves my only salt production that's actually going into salt water, saline water, is this one patch of salt. That's it right now. So my hydrogen chloride production is incredibly hamstrung at the moment, which also has the impact of my niobium production is basically dead because of that. On top of the bad pipe connection for the HCl. The hydrogen chloride down here. So first up, fix the pipes. Second up, I need to take care of this issue with saline water. Now, I know I have said before that there are ways of getting... Yes, that is a car, thank you. I'm gonna break that car one day. Are you holding anything of value? You're holding a few things of value. I want those. Thanks. One of these days I am gonna break you, so you know what? I am going to just do the repair now on all of the things. Need to place all that tile as well. So just moved that car out of the way so it's not in my way anymore. For, well, for the time being. Just gonna head on down and fix these pipes at issue. They are right there. Alright, so that should take care of getting the fluid going, but we are incredibly hamstrung on the hydrogen chloride. So, you can get salt water through stone, and you can get stone from sand extractors by shoving in some iron rods. However, sand extractors require niobium, which requires the HCl, the hydrogen chloride that I'm trying to make through saline water, through stone. So, yeah, cyclical issue there. So, what is my solution? I will be relocating my salt mines, and in fact, I will probably be expanding my salt mines. I should have salt mines on me. I will go over here, pick up... I will actually go... I'll go here, and I'll go here, and pick up the salt mines that are dead, and their chem plants, and go to a different location to make more saline water, so that I can start building up some niobium. Bleh. Yeah, so right here, we've got this going. There's 445 left. That gives 5 per second, which ends up ultimately resulting in 50 per second of saline water. Yeah, to get to 50 per second on saline water via the stone route requires 3 washers and 5 sand extractors. I can find and make a washer. Allow me to show you this process. So, making saline water from stone. In order to get to 50, you need 3, which requires 10 per second on stone. 10 per second on stone through sand extractors requires 5, and it uses 4 per second of sticks, which is 2 per second of iron plates. So you can convert 2 iron plates per second into 50 per second of saline water through the use of 9 total machines here. So 3, 5, and then 2, and then 1 automated advanced factory to make the rods for you. So 9 total machines in that process. As opposed to a single salt mine into a single chemical plant making salt water from less water as well, because this takes 100 water to make 50. So that's a thing. That is a thing, and I have to do that. I'll take these back, thank you. So I guess the question of the day is, where am I going to go and mine the salt for the saline water? I want to make sure that wherever I do go, that... Really? Alright. That there is enough salt to last a long time. Also, you are... gravel. Ooh. Looks like I have to do... Yeah, looks like you're being tapped out. Fortunately, when I do the replacement of this stuff, I could sort of keep this all here and bring in some iron and start doing iron-based gravel, because there is a gravel version of this process to make the stone wool. I can just send excess gravel out down the belt here as well. So I don't even need the stone directly. It would break this, but if I want the stone for that, I could also just make whatever stone I want out of iron too. I I have options. There are options. So yeah, a few things need to be taken care of today, and this outpost is completely dead. No more salt, sadly. No more salt exists out here. Oh, what a horrible day. I will gladly take back all of the chemical plants. Alright, so where are we going? Preferably, we need to set up shop near a source of fuel. However, I'll take what I can get. So, we've got 10 salt over here, right near my tar. The issue being, of course, that there's no coal out here nearby. So there's no source of the fuel solids necessary out in this area. So I'm a little bit hesitant on the salt out there. However, over here, we've got 6, which is 300 units per second of saline water if they're all tapped. And there is a coal right there to tap into. So I think, and it's a very high density. I think that's what I'm going to tap in the end. Yeah, it involves running a lot of pipe, but I think there's no other real way around it. I need the salt water. Now I'm just looking for... I need 1 chem plant per salt mine. I have enough salt mines. So it's time to take a trip. Time to take a trip. Oh, and also that salt patch is right by a convenient source of power. So I will not have to worry about running the power out to it either, which is fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. And again, this is absolutely priority 1 needs to happen. This is directly impacting my ability to make niobium right now, and everything else that requires hydrogen chloride. So, before I can feel comfortable moving on to actually setting up backlight for fiberboard for PCB2s, I need to do this, essentially. There's also this salt, but it's not dense enough for my tastes. I'll end up having to replace it sooner rather than later. Again, that's another one of those things that I would change when setting up this map, is just resource density, because I have to go really far away to get some decent source of salt. Decent densities of anything are far away. Maybe I'll tweak the RSO density settings and actually get some good density stuff that would only apply on new resources even further out. But, yeah, that might end up being a better trade-off, I think, perhaps. I haven't adjusted anything from base at this point. Speaking of which, apparently Pyanodon modified resource generation in the most recent update. Adjusted some of the ore frequencies. Don't know what changes were applied there and how it relates with RSO, but it's a thing that happened. Alright, let's get stuff in the way. Oh, I didn't bring any mining drills. Okay. I also need a source of water, which I do have. I'm just looking for if any shallows are closer. It doesn't appear so. So any of this color. And it doesn't look like it, so I'll have to go to the south. So yeah, these should face the opposite direction. Because the chemical plants will all be here. They'll face that way. They will be making saline water from salt. Now, each one of these will have their own independent inputs. So each of these buildings actually will be run down like so. Actually, that's not the one that'll connect there. This is the one that'll connect to that one. Because this is a one-to-one relationship. 5 in, 5 out. It's a 200% mining time per building. Per rock, I should say. So down we go. Then, of course, I need the fuel. These do not take drill heads, they take any type of normal fuel in them. So, in regards to that, I need inserters. Inserters to insert. Just trying to think of how things will be run here. That's all of them, yes? Yes, looks like it to me. Okay, next. This will need the fuel brought in. Also a radar. It's going to start bringing my belt up in that general direction. The coal is right there. That's the one that I plan on tapping. It's near a lot more coal. That's the thing. Also, hello, tar. 472.5 units per second of tar there. Wow. That's nice. I should start marking these. Tar. 472. This is, tar 542.6, 542.6. That's 542 and 213. Just so that I have them marked, because the tar in particular is a little bit difficult to physically see on the map. And yes, I do also have a 60.1 here. That's not worth tapping. And this is an 88.2, again, not really worth tapping. I'm tagging the ones that have actual resource density to them, which again, that's part of why am regretting not setting a higher resource density on RSO, and on the startup in the very beginning as well. I should have just set resource density 600% through the sliders, but I didn't. Kept them at 100%. That just goes to show how bad vanilla resource densities are at 100%. Anyway, let's get some coal going. We'll keep this simple. Let's keep this symmetric. And then just run this to the other main line of power. Go back, get the belt down, and then connect the power there, and then it's a matter of just running the pipe for the water input and pipe for the saline water output. I do think I want to dodge that, the ore patches that are here as well. So I'm gonna go down right about here. This was one of the things that I was planning on doing actually after finishing Circuit Board 2s, as part of the whole period where I'm in the process of getting Blue Science Tech weeks. And we'll be going around getting better resource production in general, but because I am out of saline water, basically only 50 units per second at the moment being crafted when I need a lot more than that just to feed what I already have. This has made it much higher on the to-do list. There we go. The coal should be trickling its way down. In the meanwhile, oops. Speaking of which, speaking of oops, I totally had a damaged one sitting there that needed to be fixed. Alright, time to bring in the power. I'll also need to bring it all the way down, so... Wait, really? Really? Aww. Okay. Right, I'm off by one. Oops. Oops. I'm off a tile. Ugh. Alright. There we go. That should just about do it. And there we go! Hello, stuffs and things. Glorious salt. Wonderful, beautiful, glorious salt. Now to give you the water that you need. Do I have offshores? Yes, I do. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Now to run this salt water, saline water, all the way back to the bus. And pray that I have enough stuff. Undergrounds. Now, the resource densities on these, we've got 4.5 mil, 3.8, 4, 3.3, 3.9, 444K? Oh. Okay, you won't last nearly as long as any of the others. But still, a lot better than what I currently got. So, with pipes, you can't really do diagonals very well, so we'll go in a straight line for as long as possible. Reveal some of this map, actually, in the process. Placing that radar down out there means that I will get some more of the map cleared as well. Now the question is... do I want to go down and over, or do I just want to go straight? I think I just want to go straight, actually. Not bother trying to feed it from the, quote, head of my bus. This seems a lot more elegant of a solution. I do not need 4 of you here anymore. 1 is fine, thanks. Once they've cleared what they can clear of the map, they're no longer required. Now, how is this gonna look? Oh, this works just fine. Just fine. Wow, that was perfect spacing. Gotta love perfect spacing. That is not so perfect, actually. Yeah, but that one's tapped out, so that works perfectly. Alright, now I have to find the line. Play the guessing game of find the line. There it is. How convenient. Boom! Immediately 300 per second more saline water to feed my system, to feed my niobium for a while. Okay, so that will ideally mean that my electrolysis line here is now... Oh, it is fully operational now. Look at that. It is now fully operational again. We were down to like 1 or 2 buildings. 2 buildings, I think, operating. So everything that required sodium hydroxide, everything that required chlorine was choked from the lack of the salt water coming in. Okay, that is that solved for now. Next is bakelite. Bakelite made in a high-pressure furnace out of phenol, zinc chloride, organic matter, and formaldehyde. Now, organic matter is best made from logs. Organic matter is best made from logs. Excuse me while I move some things over, and I'm realizing that I have forgotten to switch back to just show the game, so I will do that now. That is, yeah, that has functioned. Okay. So organic matter is from logs. That is what I will do to get organic matter consistently. Consistently organic matter. Which means I need some logs. Which means I need some circuit boards for botanical nurseries. We are, of course, going to set up something a bit more dedicated for all of this, rather than siphon off and expand the stuff that's down at the wood production. I will have something more dedicated. Theoretically, I should also do my carbon dioxide production here on top of that, but meh. So botanical nurseries, I'm gonna have to go pick up a lot more actual wood as well. But what I want to look up actually, now that I'm thinking about it, is so you are done. Etching solution, yeah, you are done. That's amazing. We are doing printed circuit substrate 2. And that means we need bakelite. Now, did I mention any numbers here? No. We need bakelite for phenolic boards. So we have everything but the phenolic boards now for the PCB2s. So, phenolic board. Actually, what I need to look at is a chip shooter, which I don't have on me. I have the machines somewhere down by my pipe production, standard pipe production. Speaking of which, I should pick up more pipes. Now that the niobium should be moving a little bit faster, I should have enough pipes soon. Because that was the other thing, is that the niobium was not only insufficient production for the current demands, but I also needed to siphon off enough for filling up my pipes. So you can see, hey, we're moving. Not using all of it yet, but we're moving. Because we don't have enough of the hydrogen chloride being produced, even for what we're making now. What we're making now is already insufficient. That is not the one. We're talking down here. You are the one. That's the PCB factory. And then where is the chip shooter? There it is. So a single circuit 2 will need 0.2, which I think is straight up a third. Yeah, it is 2/3 of a single PCB factory. Oh boy. Oh boy. So 0.5 times 2/3 is 1/3. Interesting. 1/3 is 2/3 of 0.5. That's actually good to know. That's like something worth memorizing, that 1/3 is 2/3 of 1/2. Yeah, so I need 1/3 per second of phenolic. Okay, phenolic. I should actually have the stuffs. Or do I? Do I in here? I don't see pulp mills or any of that. What is the phenolic board made in? Pulp mill, that's what I thought. Am I carrying around pulp mill? I'm not carrying it around. Looks like I need to get some wood. I must have deposited it somewhere. Wood for pulp mill. Pulp mill making phenolic. One of you can make up to 0.83. I need 0.33. 0.33, and it is 1-to-1 with bakelite, in which the bakelite's made in the high pressure furnace. So 0.33 making bakelite. That is... I'm looking specifically right now on organic matter, and I will make note of everything else. So I need 0.33 bakelite into 0.33 phenolic. So let's see, we've got 3.75 divided by 0.63 times times 0.3 repeating. That is... let's call that 2. It's 1.9841, etc. Let's just say 2 per second on that organic matter. 2 per second organic matter. 0.63, oh, that's 1-to-1, so 0.33 per second of the zinc chloride. 1.88, that's a 2-to-1. Yeah, or 3-to-1, okay. Yeah, that's 3-to-1. Rounded. That's a rounded 3-to-1. So 1.88 over 0.63. Yeah, that's 3. So 3 times 0.33 repeating is 1. 1 per second of phenol. And then 2.5 over 0.63 times 0.3 repeating. 1.32. We'll say 1.5 on the formaldehyde. Formaldehyde. Yes, formaldehyde. 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 Formally addressing Formaldehyde. Yeah, you are good. I will take you. So, next, it is what machine to make the organic matter. It is wood processing unit. Oh joy. Wood processing unit. I need some copper. This tab. Wood processing unit. How many of these do I need in order to get 2 per second on the organic matter? Wood processing unit. Where? Yeah. Craft all the cable, please. Crafting all the cable. So, by the way, once I do finish setting up all of this, setting up the PCB2s, I will start working on silicon. Silicon and silicon wafers going into then the heavy N, light N, and P-doped silicon, which will be the, I believe, final ingredients. Zinc acetate is the one other thing that needs to be made. Where is that wood thingy? Yes, the wood thingy! To make organic matter from logs. One of you makes 5 per second. Okay. 0.1 per second of logs. You, on that. 2. 2 to 1, only taking in water. Alternatively, I can do the water and CO2, because this sort of feeds itself on CO2 production. For reference, this feeds itself on CO2 production. If you siphon off some of this to make CO2, again, it straight up feeds itself. Oh, is that slower? Oh no, that's a 1 per second. Yeah. Yeah, 1 would give 0.1 to feed this, so it goes from 2 to 1 to 1 to 1 just by feeding in a little CO2. And it makes a lot more than I need, which means that I can then siphon off and make some CO2 from organic matter. Now, one of these would take 2.5. I'd still have enough, and it would produce 75 per second. This would use 10. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to set up. I'm going to have that going using that recipe, making organic matter for my bakelite. Now, as for phenol, I need to go through and as for formaldehyde, that's the other thing. So formaldehyde and phenol. Now, formaldehyde is being made right here, because formaldehyde is used in melamine resin. We are using 20 per second to make the current volume of melamine resin. I am producing... Why did I only put 1? And why did I put 2 of these down when 1 can't feed it? I do not know. Maybe I'm planning for later? That makes 2 per second on melamine resin. This needs 8 to feed it. Again, why did I do 2? That makes 4. Melamine resin gets consumed here, 2 per second. Again, I'm not making 2 per second, because I'm not even making enough stuff to feed one of these. This is probably just a result of planning ahead a bit, but yeah, so I'm going to need, let's see. Oh, apparently like 1.5 per second on the formaldehyde, so not worried in the slightest, but if I need at least 21, that would be 4. Yeah, that'll do it. For the exception that I will also have to expand the amount of, Whoa, that's bad. Why? The hell? What did I do? What happened? They're not getting fuel oil. Why? What's wrong with my crude? Alright. Mission critical problem right now. What did I do? What critical error did I make? Or what pipe did I break? That's another good question. Did I break a pipe? You are dead. You are dead. That works. I guess. Okay. Having a little bit of issue in regards to steam? And in regards to crude, now what's my problem with here with the crude? Please use all of it. don't know why, but the overflow valve, they shouldn't have had the issue there. Now, it's going down to 0. Why? And this isn't the only place. Did the most recent updates screw with the water requirements on the thingies? Yeah, these are also not producing. And again, it looks like there's not enough. Five cooling towers, 1,000 to 1,000. Oh, you know what? Where have I split? So yeah, this is 6 and 5. 1,000. 1,000. What's the issue? I don't get it. I really don't get it. There was literally no difference, no change between yesterday's update and between yesterday and today besides that update that was done. And now the power is non-existent. Non-existent. Like, what? This makes absolutely no sense. It's like I have too much steam. Or the pipe throughput is somehow not working as intended. That had no impact. Okay, let's siphon some of this steam off. You can actually do that, apparently, with a tailings pond. It will siphon off some of this excess. Just briefly run it, though. Alright, well those are now running. Fully. These are operating. Now it's... What? This one has the opposite issue, where there's not enough water in the system. And I want to do it this way. So we're gonna make sure that that gets a bit more water. And then let's see what happens. So this one's still not getting enough water. So just let that feed a little bit more. And then close it. That seems to be a lot better. Alright, now we're stabilized. Wow. Like, seriously though, that was not a problem until today, start of this stream. Well, actually, you know what? It happened. You know what? I hit a critical value on consumption. I hit a critical value on my consumption, and it just so happened that that critical value created some sort of feedback loop, and that's what happened. So once the demand hit a certain threshold, it triggered some sort of a feedback loop from not having sufficient amounts of water, or too much water in this case. One had not enough, the other had too much steam in the system, and now I have to go out to the other two places. I have to go to where I am converting excess aromatics and to where I'm converting excess hydrogen in order to fix the same issue that should be happening somewhat out here as well, I think. No, these are just lacking the aromatics, but I can assume that they have similar problems on here, but I do know that the I saw that all of it was having issues. The oh, come on. No! No! Just get out. Anyway, so the hydrogen was also having issues. Because we were dipping down to 0 megawatt production. 0. Like, what? That's technically not even possible because I have these 4 steam turbines running, right? Like, how? That doesn't make any sense at all. Yeah, so then here, what were you? Oh, so now you're magically not having any issues either because you're not trying to run at 100%. Okay. So, suffice it to say that if everything in my factory tries to run at all at the same time, I don't have enough power to power it all. I mean, that, I think, has become clear. And that was another thing that was on the to-do list for after finishing Circuit 2s. So anyway, after all of that. How you doing? Give me all of this landfill. Yeah, that's about to break. Question. Why are you existing there? Yeah, I imagine once the actual circuit 2 start being produced, that the power will spike. This is another reason why I'm not using robots yet, is because I just know that the moment I start using robots, my power demands are going to quintuple on me. Yeah, and when the science starts kicking in, once I start producing blue science, that's gonna kick in the red and the green again, and all of the processes making red and green, as well as everything making blue, and everything making the circuits and the optical fibers. It's all gonna happen all at once, all at the same time, and I'm going to need several hundred. This will probably be demanding another 100 megawatts at least to run all of it, and that will mean I have to set up more power. I have ideas on that, on setting up power. Technically, right now, I could start automating the production of, if I can find them, if I can find them in here, of solar panels and accumulators. I can technically make these now. So that's one option, is transition to solar. Massive solar arrays. But A, I don't have substations, which I'd rather have substations when working with solar panels. And B, it's a hell of a lot of solar panels. Pyrite is made out of iron oxide, which is easy enough. I can do the pyrite. I have to make the iron oxide anyway. And then batteries I'm currently making. So I have batteries. Hey, Kitty has joined me. Yeah, welcome. Welcome, Kitty. So, yeah, about that. In the alternative, I can just do an even more massive line of electrolysis, convert the hydrogen into power directly, and convert the oxygen into power indirectly through refined syngas, through coal bed gas. In fact, I might want to actually, because I'm already making an excess of oxygen, burn some refined syngas and expand my hydrogen power, but yeah. I only need one, not two. Just have to bring up the CO2. And get the thingy that does the CO2 there. And get the wood processing unit down. I'll go ahead and do a little work there. we go. Coal bed would be nice to see. So I did the math on the coal bed the other day, and suffice it to say that the amount of energy you get from the coal bed gas, ultimately stemming from electrolyzed water to get the oxygen to feed the coal bed gas, you feed enough power to power the whole system that you've set up thus far with a slight net positive, so that the hydrogen-based power is then basically entirely a net positive. Not quite, when you take into consideration the amount of coke to feed into it, but yeah, so it basically just offsets a lot of the power required when doing the hydrogen. Oh, and of course, you are also spending some zinc chloride in the production of the activated carbon for the filtration media. It's not a lot of filtration media that gets used, but it's a non-renewable resource until you get to the point where you can start making the zinc ore from ground boring. I think this works, by the way. So this is production of organic matter. Simple production of organic matter. I need to do more landfilling. Why do my... Where are all my chests? Like, really? Give me chests. Take my things. Oh, there's my chests. Take the things, but I will take back those, and where's my those? For safety. Oh, and I was holding on to a little bit of landfill. I'll go and I will take that back wherever it... Oh no, I used it. I used it. So, landfill. Making some right here. Then I'll go to the primary location, which is basically tapped out on its stone at the moment. I will probably go ahead and move around the mining drills a bit for that. All these rocks that are damaged. Oh boy. I went way past the stone. No, I went... It's right here. Oh, hi. That's not much. Okay. That is not much at all. Oh yeah, this whole line is dead. Sheesh. This will not last long, but oh well. Why did it... Oh. Yeah, about that, see. I didn't carry around... Oh, right, and I didn't. Yeah, I brought nothing with me to do this, so... Oops. Oops, didn't bring anything with me to do any of that. That should help, at least. Don't prioritize, please, into this. This isn't as important, actually. Like, seriously, I do need my stuff here, stone wool, but I also definitely need my landfill. So now I need to conserve landfill. Beautiful. May as well set up the sand extractors then. Why not? Because I can do sand extractors, making stone, making landfill to, Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. We are now... Something decided it wanted to not operate. So I guess 226 is the max that my fuel oil based power can provide. I suppose. Now, I did have an additional water here, which, you know what, I'm going to take that and add to it. I'm just gonna go, since I have some space, clearly, get my pipes a-going. I could just do this, technically. Dang it. I don't like this. There we go. Water! But, and this is why I really needed the landfill. I want to run the CO2 up. Now the CO... CO2 hasn't really been run up this far. I need to go and pick up some more niobium undergrounds at this point. So, another big trip to make to pick up more niobium undergrounds. And then a bit of a hike running the carbon dioxide up, because that one terminates a bit further back. Just a bit further back. Alright. Managed to make it through. I can also break this down entirely at this point because I'm not using it, because I am all out of salt. All out of salt that it was there to help feed. Ooh, iron reserve. You there. Thank you for the undergrounds. Beautiful niobium. Back again. Hmm. Now. Oops. Finding that CO2 line. That CO2 line apparently doesn't exist in the first group. It exists in the second group. And it was run up a bit. I don't even remember what I used the CO2 for up here. That's a little sad. But how far did I run it? I apparently used it again after getting niobium. That's interesting. Where does this split off? Here, across... Oh, it's getting CO2 in, venting excess. Right. Because I'm getting some organic matter coming out of the fiber production for the rayon. That's right. And then that is actually the termination point, so we go up from here. Thingy in the way. Rocks! Oh joy, my rock finder's working. Alright, this is where things get a little interesting. That tile, huh? That 2 tiles. Talk about conserving pipe. I mean, landfill. That's not even being really conservative on the landfill. I could, choose to do every other tile. Oh, that's convenient. I'll go across from here, sure. There's CO2. And that just needs power. Just add power, and we're good. So this will slowly make logs, 0.1 per second. It will feed into this, making 5 items per second on the organic matter because it makes 50 units. 50 units per log, per individual log. And these get made in sets of 3. And then I'm siphoning off half of this production that's going to be making carbon dioxide. Once, actually, now that this is kicked off, I don't need to feed this anymore. And and because I know that the excess gets burned anyway, I'm safe on leaving this as a, closed system, so, yeah. Was it worth doing all the landfill? Probably not, but I now have the option to, if I want to actually make this a primary production source for CO2, I do have the ability to go and hook it up into the system. So, organic matter exists now. This is going to be used for our glorious bakelite. I need to bring up formaldehyde, phenol, zinc chloride. So the zinc chloride is the closest. This will also, by the way, be 3 more, like, sets of stuff, which is why I'm going to be holding on to my landfill. I do believe that the zinc chloride is the closest. It will need a brand spanking new spot on the bus, as will phenol. So zinc chloride exists right before the activated carbon infiltration media, which is back here. So as you can see, wow, I'm using this. Right, I use this here as well. Just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to start... Oh, right. Don't mind me as I make some undergrounds. As I start filling my inventory with stuff again. Fill that inventory of things. With things. Why would I do that recipe? Oh, because I don't have any rubber on me. Right, probably should make more rubber and focus on that, and yeah, anyway. So, I went way too far. Bleh. Bleh. Backing up. Backing up. Backing up. Right here. All the way across now. Second line, right. This is the third, okay. Third and fourth. Yet another thing on the bus. You are the first. No, you are the fourth. Okay, good to know. Let's see. I do believe that the next line is right there. Oh. Yeah, I should probably get more belt. That sounds like a plan. I will get my more efficient production belt that's closer from where I am making my rubber. Right down here. There we go. And up we go. Up, up, and away. Try to get over where there's a clean path. Take a nice broader view here, see all the rainbows of the bus. Bus bows. Up we go. And of course this will be landfilled. Oh, that hurts so much. Going over that molybdenum. Alright. Land filling across this giant lake. Hope I have enough. I should. I also need to define, like, the split off point. So I have to actually place the building down. The high pressure furnace, which should be in one of these chests here. A. Alright, A. High pressure furnace exists. You're gonna be right there, because I said so. And you're gonna be making bakelite. Bakelite! Bakelite! That's the formaldehyde. This is exclusively gonna be here. I need phenol and zinc chloride. Alright. Oh, inserters. Let's grab those again. There we go. Of course, it's an odd number. Oh well. So I have to decide which of these will be phenol and which of these will be the other thing out here. I guess this can pretty easily be my zinc. Now I break that so I don't have to worry about the buffer when I want stuff to go this way. Now, phenol will also be a new spot on the bus, so I know for a fact that it will be a very specific distance away from this one that I've just run. So I know for a fact that there's going to be a gap of 2, and that this is the 4th lane before this as my phenol line. And I know that I need that tile to do the split, and that will be how this is run. In case you're wondering how to do things somewhat efficiently with the main bus in a C-block style of game, with using not a ton of landfill for it, this is a way. I won't call it the way, but I will say a way of doing it. In this case, I'm not playing a C-block style, I just happen to have decided to landfill a lake. And this is a 2-tile gap. Alright, so next is phenol. I don't know off the top of my head if I need to increase my production of phenol. I likely do. There was some other spot somewhere, I think, that was a hole right here. I'll start squaring things off a little bit to appease some folks. I can power things, sure. Alright. Moving right along. This has been quite nice thus far. It's an interesting ending on my bus here. So phenol is being made a bit further back as part of the nylon production, actually, because phenol is required for nylon as well, and that is being made right here. This is the nylon, so this is the phenol. Now, I apparently did split this off already, but I didn't do it like, the correct way, it seems. Boy, why did I do that way? So the correct way to do this, actually, is I should have done that, and then run this over and jumped and gone over. Speaking of which, make more undergrounds. So how much phenol do I technically make per second? 3.33. And that is true. It is 3.33. This would require 0.83. Yeah, I have 4 of these. No, not 200, I have 4 of these. Which is exactly how much I'm producing. So, I don't see myself actually needing 3.33 nylon per second, however, even because... So, when I set this up initially, I was targeting being able to feed 3 chip shooter machines making circuit board 2s. After looking at everything else that I need to actually feed 3 circuit board 2s, specifically looking at how much sulfuric acid that I need, ultimately, to end up feeding 3 of those chip shooter machines making circuit board 2s, I've decided that at the start, I will only do 1 chip shooter machine making circuit board 2s until I pick up a number of blue science techs that give me better options of producing some of the things that are involved in this whole chain of things. So I do not need a full 3.33 per second on nylon, so I don't think I need to expand my phenol at all. In fact, I'm gonna just do that and do a very basic lane balance, because I'm only outputting on the offside lane. So, this needs to go on the bus, and as I've already sorta stated... Oh. Well, that's not nice. That's not nice at all. Here. You are lane 2? Autosave. 102 hours. 102 glorious hours of not having Circuit 2s yet, or Blue Science because of that. That being said, pretty sure there are people who have done over 100 hours of Pyanodons and not gotten Circuit 1 automation yet, or not gotten green science yet. So, we're making decent progress. Yeah, that's how I'll word it. Decent progress. Not speedrun fast progress, but progress. Progress that exists. If I can just not run into everything on the planet, that would be great. That would be highly convenient, actually. Not running into everything on the planet. Ugh, that hurts so much, running over that molybdenum. And we're good. So that is phenol in. That only leaves formaldehyde. Beautiful and glorious formaldehyde. So, I do not think that I currently have it on my fluid bus. So that's going to introduce another level of complexity to this. Because I'm going to have to figure out where to put this on the bus. I have some lanes. Oops, well that's another kill. I have some lanes. Yep. Goodbye, pipe. Nice to know ya. How many have died thus far? 6 Neobium undergrounds, 6 pipe to grounds, and 16 small poles, and 1 medium have died thus far in 102 hours. Okay, formaldehyde. Oh boy. What's interesting is how many random rocks I have just sitting on my pipe bus. Just having never destroyed them. Alright, formaldehyde over here. Gosh, this is really busy. So, every single one of these is used. Every single one, including the buffer space on each side. So I can't use those. As for here, I think I am using the buffer, the first line. If I scroll up, yes, I am using that first line for the liquid nitrogen. I don't think I'm using the one directly next to it, though. Which, there's a really good indicator on the molten copper for this. So, that's the one that's being used. This is the one that I'm targeting, right here. So just bringing the formaldehyde up. That's the lane that I want. Alright, get in my car. I'm going to run this to the corner, my turn, where I will also place the marker to indicate to myself that the liquid nitrogen lane is also in use. So once I get here, I will be doing 2 of these, just to say to myself, hey, this one is in use currently, but these 2 are free, these 2 are free, and this one, I think, is free. It might not be, actually. What is next to my TPA? Nitrogen, actually. Actually, nitrogen is next to my TPA, so I need to mark that off as well. Now, what's next to nitrogen? I see propene. What's next to nitrogen? Ah, these carbonyl sulfide stuff. Okay. So yeah, now all I have left are these 2. So I have 4 spare. total before needing to make another spot. 4 spare before having to expand my fluid bus again. At least this should be a pretty straight shot without having to worry about too much being in the way. Alright, we're through... I was just saying, we're through a lot of the gunk. But, as it turns out, we had an underground blocking the way. Oops. More kills! Yet another power pole has bit the dust. I think once I get this routed and the backlight starts moving, I do want to take a brief break. Wait, what? I got moved by a belt. That's what happened there. Ooh, that's convenient. Less landfill to have to deal with. Yeah. Alright. So this is the line I need to draw. For this beautiful formaldehyde. Speaking of the formaldehyde, it gets fed in. Ah, right next door. Okay. That's simple enough. Glorious formaldehyde. Now, I did not scale up my methane to feed my formaldehyde, so bear that in mind. I do need to go and make some more moondrop greenhouses to feed the methane required. But, yeah, as the cat rests comfortably next to me, I need to take a bit of a brief break. We're making bakelite, so we're one step closer. The next step is phenolic boards, and then I'll have PCB2s. Ideally, I'll be able to get that done before the end of the stream today. So I will be back shortly, getting up, stretching the legs, about 3-ish minutes or so. I have returned. See, that was about 3 minutes. That song was 3 minutes long from the, from Factorio itself. So, we have bakelite. If that's actually how you pronounce that. Next up is phenolic boards. Phenolic boards are made in pulp mills. Pulp mills. I should have one on me. Somewhere. There we go. The pulp mill. Making phenolic. For the record, phenolic only is used. So, bakelite, for one, I think is only used in phenolic. So, Bear in mind, if I wanted to do direct insertion, I could. Especially since it is 1-to-1 here. But it's not the same ratio of production. Phenolic is only used in PCB2. So again, another opportunity here for direct insertion if you so desire. For the phenolics, I'm going to need to bring up fiberboard, sodium hydroxide, and ammonia. Ammonia, I have brought up, but I will need to run. Sodium hydroxide is the next closest, and then fiberboard is the biggest distance that needs to be run. So I will go ahead, mark off some stuff, bring that up as my indicator for the iron. Get this brought. You'll be done through a long-handed inserter placed there. I will also have an inserter, regular inserter here for something. Either hydroxide or fiberboard, and then I will have an inserter here for something, for the same thing, and then the double out for the relatively even amounts of phenolics. And then the last thing is the PCB factory, which again I should have among the stuff. Then it's the PCB factory, placed, I don't know, right there. To make that, needs the etching solution, of course. Needs the nylon parts, and the phenolic, as well as tin and copper. Okay. Tin and copper. Could do a mixed belt of tin and copper, but doesn't really matter in the end. And I definitely have enough nylon parts, so yeah, we're already thinking about logistics for the actual PCB2s, which is glorious. But first comes the wonderful, wonderful other things. First comes sodium hydroxide and fiberboard. Where is my car? Of course, all the way over there. And ammonia. So I guess the first thing is the ammonia, because that should be the closest thing. In fact, so close. Yeah, have fun with the belt and the landfill. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I have the belts. I don't think I have the landfill. Where is my ammonia? Ammonia, right there. What happened to plastic? Trickling. Plastic is sort of dependent upon aromatics. I think I should probably go tap some more tar and make some more aromatics. That sounds like a plan. I'll just do that and give myself a thingy. I mean, if I have to, I can do this. So in case you didn't know, in the current state of the game, you can walk over single tiles of water. Granted, you need to actually fill all of it in when running belt. Can get away with it with pipe, but not so much the belt, so there we go. Really? Okay. It is right. Ah, convenience. Convenience! I will gladly accept convenience. If I mark you there. Boom. Haha! Talk about saving landfill. Yeah, that's how you save landfill. Oh joy, oh bliss. That's how you save landfill. So, sodium hydroxide and fiberboard. That's a thing. Hello, additional landfill. So sodium hydroxide, the eternal thing that I always need more of. Why is it so... always so important? Even in Angels, it's always... all your problems in Angels stem from lack of sodium hydroxide in the end. All problems originate with lack of sodium hydroxide in the current state of Angels. And it's looking like sodium hydroxide is gonna be one of those things that continues to be problematic even here. This is sodium hydroxide right here. This lane right next to my salt. Not salt. Silver. Just for some reason, sodium hydroxide gets used for so many things all the time. And in Pyanodons, this mod set, I've apparently run out of my beautiful, beautiful splitters, so I want to go and grab some circuit board 1s, which, by the way, I will need to run the circuit board 1 belt all the way up. Pretty sure this is the belt, by the way. May as well start bringing it up. Alright, give me splitters. Give me splitters and give me more belt. Oh, hi. Yeah, I'll take those. Thanks. More belt. In fact, boom. Boom. All the belt. All of it. Give it all to me. I will be gladly taking all of it, and I will run my line here further up. Just because I know I need circuit boards for a lot of things. Then I'll head over and bring setting my hydroxide up. Off we go. Fixing things as we go, for reference. At least I'm assuming that this is the correct spacing for things. Alright, next line to draw. Stupid belts! Moving my car! Alright, where am I feeding this in? Probably from here. And remember, that's the gaps. Always have proper gaps. Alright, there's the sodium hydroxide. Now the fiberboard. I wanted to get into making silicon today, but doesn't look like that's gonna happen. Well, either way, I've sort of already met my goal for the week on progress as soon as I start making PCB2s. This week, I wanted to make the PCB2s, the optical fibers, and do the rare earth processing, set it up on the rare earth processing, not necessarily get it moving and get the like heavy end doped silicon stuff made, because ultimately once that stuff is made and once ferrite is made, well, then I've got literally everything that I need. It's just logistics at that point, feeding into the chip shooter machine for the circuit board 2s. Speaking of which, the fiber board is right here. Oh, are you already on the bus? Have I ever given you a spot? I think I've already given you a spot. I've already given you a spot. Oh boy. Cool. I thought ahead. In fact, I think I scaled this already for 3 chip shooter machines worth. of circuit board 2 production on top of what I'm already making. So yeah, about that. Now these are used in yeah, it's used in blood meal. That's why I was scaling things up a lot. And I don't remember at the time whether or not I decided to scale just for the blood meal, for the nylon, or scale fully for everything that the fiberboard is used for. Between the nylon and the PCB. I think I did it for the nylon and the PCB, so I should have a lot more fiberboard production capacity than what I need at the moment. Because if I even figured and put down the production of nylon to feed 3 chip shooter machines for circuit board 2s, by cutting out by a third, that should give me enough spare for my purposes for one machine in total. I also have a lot more Zapier rendering than what I need. Because I have a lot more nylon than what I need. This is convenient, by the way. It is convenient to let me know that, hey, this is the 4th item on this line. Alright, bring this up. See, the movement of the car made that happen. Speaking of which, ooh, doink. Didn't need to go that far, but whatever. Ah, no. Absolutely not. Interesting. I will have to jump that. Yeah, that's how that works. That is how that works. For now. And that is the fiberboard. So, technically, as soon as everything gets up here... Aww. The cat just thunked his head straight onto the desk. Yeah, you're tired. Just did that, sleep like... thunk. Straight down. Well, yeah, once that gets up here, we'll have fiberboard, or we'll have phenolic. We'll have phenolic, so that's phenolic in. I need to bring the etching solution, copper, tin, and nylon. Now the etching solution is right here. It needs a place on the bus. And as I explained, I have exactly 4 places where I can put it. Precisely 4 places. They are here, 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 and here. So the one right next to the CO2 is probably the easiest one. to access. And I'm just going to make sure that this isn't actually already in use. Doesn't look like it. So I will bring this out to be directly next to the CO2. And I'll go ahead and just not worry about how much of this I'm using. Alright, what is the line? This is the line. There we go. Yeah, good luck doing this properly. There we go. That's etching solution. Tin, nylon, copper. Come on, car, let's go grab our copper. Should be... let's see. I forget where the tin is, actually. Up we go. Fortunately, I don't have to worry too much about, don't have to worry about adding any more landfill for the copper. Probably do have to for the tin, though, because the tin is sort of the fourth line here. Alright, what? Ah, fiberboard's coming in. That's good. I guess it doesn't really matter. This will probably be the nylon parts. Hello. The factory must grow. Yes, the factory must grow. I am doing fine today. How about yourself? I am slowly but surely wrapping up these PCB2s. Just need to bring up my tin and my nylon parts. Now my tin should be this fourth row. Game consumed your life. It consumes everyone's life. That it does. It is a time vampire. One of those games that definitely classifies as a time vampire. It steals it from you. Ha! Now they're asking you how to make the belt balancers. You know, there's nice blueprint books that exist that do that for you. Oh, it isn't the 4th line, it is the 3rd line, so I don't have to worry at all about adding more landfill here to run this one. That's right. Excellent, excellent, excellent. It's exactly what you told them, yeah. Although, chances are, they should probably memorize at least the 4-4. The 4-4 balancer, you know, this thing. That thing. That's the first one to learn right there. That's the first one. Honestly, I don't know off the top of my head any of the other ones. That's the only one I know straight off the top of my head, besides the 1-1/2-1 lane balancer, which is this, any 2 in or 1 in to lane balance. Besides that, I just use blueprints. Alright. Get this guy up. Yeah, I'll do this. Then last but not least, I need the nylon parts. Now the nylon parts are getting a new spot on the bus, so this means I know exactly how they're gonna come up here. Which means that I can start making the landfill. Come on, vehicle snap, work with me here. Oh. Wait, what? So I ran into this. It damaged the pipe, the niobium pipe segment right here on this tile, and not this tile. Okay. Sure. Okay, so this is that lane. That means boop. And boop. And doop. Did it. Da da. That will be that. Come on, car, let's go. I'm gonna park her right there. Have a fun time making my way through all this mess. This mess of landfill. This will be my belt for the nylon parts that I am currently making. And once this belt is run, I will have PCB 2. Printed Circuit Substrate 2. Oh yeah, that's right, you can walk over a one-tile water gap, so this water, yeah, this water doesn't actually exist. I can run right over it. It's fine. Oops, another kill. Yet another kill on my niobium pipe. Partly because they have less health than regular pipes. Oh, that's so painful going over that molybdenum. Every time. Every time going over that molybdenum. I am not out of belt. Absolutely not. Alright, I should be making my nylon somewhere around here. Actually, I just have to follow that blue. This is the nylon, so I just have to follow it. I'll know I'm close, or there, once I see it being fed. So I'm here, I have arrived. The nylon parts exist right above this. Right here. Now, I only need actually like 1 per second. I'm making 3 times as much. Ooh, that's tricky. That's not the first line. Don't actually need any of those. Alright, that's officially nylon parts connected. So as soon as they run all the way up, I will have my printed circuit substrate 2. So printed, excuse me, PCB2. Only used in circuit board 2s. Clearly. So, question is, do I make the resistor 1 and the capacitor 1 and the inductor 1 locally, where I'm making the second level of them? Because these are only used in circuit board 1s and inductor 2s. I don't quite think it makes much sense to bus these inductors. And similarly with capacitors, that's the same situation. And capacitor 2s are only used in circuit board 2s. And then the resistors, resistor 2s only used in circuit board 2s, and resistor 1s only used for circuit board 1s and resistor 2s. So I think I'll do this production locally. rather than expand what I already have, but... see, I'm torn because, in one sense, I'd have to run all the logistics that feeds into these and these and these. I'd have to feed the logistics into these again, which this is all of this ceramics. Don't I bust ceramics though? I'm already busting ceramics. So that's one thing. That's glass and tin, ceramics, and more ceramics, and copper. That's actually fine. Like, that's not bad. I can do these locally. I can just bring my ceramics up. Because I'm already bussing the ceramics here. That's ceramics and tin and copper. That's all that's needed for these. Ceramics, tin, and copper. And that would say, and some coke, but ugh. Yeah, I sort of need to work on getting a bit more coke anyway. Yeah. I can bring glass. I already have my tin and my copper up here. I would just need to bring glass, coke, and ceramics. That would be it. Glass, coke, and ceramics. All the way up on the bus to do them locally. Those three things. On top of everything else as inputs into the level 2s. However, in these last 12 or so minutes of the stream, as I continue drinking my coffee, it's time to discuss silicon. I'm just going to go up to watch as the PCB2s begin. As soon as the line here of the nylon parts catches up, should be able to nah, it's out of radar range, but we'll know when the nylon parts begin showing up. Part of me actually wants to put put radars down out on the side. I'm actually going to go have a look and see where the nylon parts are and sort of follow them up. So with silicon is needed to make silicon wafers. Silicon will also be needed for other things, apparently molten super steel, which is the next step after stainless. We've already gotten stainless. So you're telling me the only thing I need to make super steel is fuel rods and vanadium. I have that. I'll have silicon, and then I have that, and I have stainless steel. Good to know. So, silicon is made out of coal dust and pure sand. So coal dust, pure sand. Can I not make that out of nothing? Or, like, iron? I think so. So the pure sand comes out of sand. Clearly, sand, as we know, is incredibly easy to get out of sand extractors at the low cost of an extremely small amount of iron. So that is fine. In fact, I have an example of already doing this process to get pure sand somewhere here. Feeding into the filtration media, I have 2 sand extractors making sand to feed 4 washers making pure sand, and I do believe that this makes 8 per second on pure sand in total. And it's using a fraction of this automated factory for the sticks. So this setup right here, this thing, this is what will be used for pure sand. As far as the coal dust is concerned, you can get coal dust by basically destroying raw fiber, which I am not about to do. You can get it straight from coal, crushing coal into coal dust, which you can get coal from mushrooms as a renewable method. You can get coal dust from tailings dust, which also gives you a little bit of ores. Probably not the best option. You can get it out of ash with some iron oxide. I think that's only a chance to get the iron oxide. Again, tailings dust into rich dust. You can get it out of processing raw coal. And you get it through the coke production, which currently I'm using coal dust for something. I'm actually using it for something else. I'm using it in titanium tetrachloride production currently, and I'm using all of it. As for a more consistent production of coal dust, clearly raw fiber sort of wins that argument, because it's technically free. Also, mushrooms into coal dust. Shrooms into coal dust for something a bit more renewable. So I think that will be how I go about it. Now, I do have some mushrooms more locally. Just a few more locally. There is a spot on the bus for them, but yeah, I have a few. I only need less than. I need less than what I'm making. That said 4.8, so yeah, I have like 4. 4 per second spare that's already being made up here. And hello, Substrate 2s. It exists. It exists. I have the Substrate. It's glorious. Glorious, glorious Substrate. Yes, kitty? You put your paw on my arm? So, high pressure furnace. High pressure furnaces. I need to pick up more thingies. Where's my icon? It has an easy to see icon. Where is it? There. Oh, really? You want more copper plates, huh? So what I need to determine... I think I've already determined this. Let me look at my notes. What I need to determine is exactly how much silicon I need. Now, it looks like I need 3.5 per second of silicon, so I need 7 coal dust. I think 7 coal dust per second. How do you make the coal dust from coal? What machine is that? Ball mill. Okay. What's the relationship between coal to coal dust? If I need 7.5 of this, I need 3.75. Yeah, that'll be close. Yes? What? Paw on my shoulder? What? You're telling me you're hungry. That's what you're telling me. You know it's close to your lunchtime. I can see myself feeding this just fine. Then what is the silicon building? It's high pressure furnace, of course. Of course it is. Silicon, wherefore art thou, silicon? Right there. I need 3.5. Which is 7, yeah, coal per second of the coal dust. 7, so 3.75 over 7.5 times 7 is 3.5. So 3.5. 5 over 4 times 3.5 is 4.375. I think I'm going to need to add another Fauge mushroom. More mushrooms. Or I just actually bring up my line, because 4.8 minus 6.67 is 4.13, so not quite enough to do the fading locally, but yeah, now I know. I sort of have this set up now, about where it's going to be. I'm going to move the this guy over a little bit to be more in line with things. Actually, I'm gonna space this out a bit better so you get mushrooms in. The stuff will go out there. It will loop like that into the 2 ball mills that will be making the coal dust. Like so. That will feed out evenly like this. It will go like that, feed into the silicon production. Like so. Although I do actually think I want an extra space there because it also needs the pure sand in. Don't know if I want to feed the pure sand in on that side, but no matter. And that is that for now. I will also need that. This will give pure sand. This is just for my own reference. Yeah, that doesn't make any lick of sense. Just feed it like so. 12%. Oh, that's 3. Right. Do. Yeah, that should, but that's 12. That means I need a little bit more. I need 2 more there, and I need more here as well, so I need more room. Anyway, with that, it's time to end. Next time, clearly, we'll be continuing on and getting the silicon that will be necessary. Oh yeah, that's totally only 3, not 3.5. So yeah, I need 4. Yeah, there we go. 3.5. Fed by 7. Fed by 3.5. Fed by 2 of these. Making those. Da 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 da. There we go. So, yeah, the basics are here. Just have to finish it up, put some extended stuff, maybe get this on its own section. Right there. +1. +1. That should do it. And then route it down. I'll go like that. To there. There'll be some underground so I can feed out. Break that, do that. A little higher. Maybe break all of it, do all of it. A little higher and do that. Right there. There we go. Alright. What did we get done today? We got the printed circuit substrate 2s. PCB 2s are done. Hallelujah. It's amazing. I've got all this mess here, stuffing things in the works as I landfill more. I also went out and I secured a brand new salt outpost, producing saline water, exclusively producing saline water, 300 per second of saline water, for that matter. This will last a fair amount of time, hopefully, before I have to go out to find more. And I took care of a bit of an issue on power generation. There was something happened with the amount of water that was in the system. I think I closed this, technically. Did I? I don't know if I left this connected or not. Oops. Otherwise? Otherwise, oops. But yeah, I took care of a issue there. So with that, I would like to thank you all for watching. And we did a lot of logistics, that's the other thing. Lots of logistics. This has been Otaku Showboat. I will be back tomorrow, where we will finish off producing silicon and start work towards getting the heavy N, light N, and P-doped silicon via silicon wafers. So we're making silicon now, but we need to make generic silicon wafers that need to then get processed into other types of silicon that will then be used for the other things, diodes and yeah, just the other stuff that's still required for the circuit board 2s. The glorious things for the circuit board 2s. So I will see you all then.